Hey everybody, this is Mike Guglielmi from Sons of a Pitch, an American soccer podcast. I am back to bring you picks and predictions for the opening weekend of the MLS Cup Playoffs, starting tomorrow, Saturday, October 19th, and Sunday, October 20th. We are going to have some fun, lots of great games on this great weekend of soccer. We've got 6 games in total, 4 over tomorrow over the day, and then 2 on Sunday. So really quick, just wanted to give a few shout-outs. Great job from the viewers and the great conversation that we had during the USA and Canada matchup on, I believe it was Tuesday, I believe it was. So that was a lot of fun interacting with you guys, so thanks for jumping on. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, do so. We are recording every Tuesday night. We end up launching the next episode usually on Wednesdays. Give us a listen. We're going to talk everything MLS, USMNT, Canadian men's national team, all that good stuff, but soccer right here in the United States. So, next order of business, the playoffs, the bracket challenge. We are running a league, the bracket challenge on MLSsoccer.com. Sons of a Pitch Soccer Podcast is the name of the league. Check out the link right here on the video. I'll put it as well down in the comments, in the description of the video, so that you can see it and click on it and join our league. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you do that. If you've already filled out a bracket, go ahead and enter our league. We're at about 38 or 39 as we record right now. We need to get up to 50 in order to bring the $25 Amazon gift card into play. But you're guaranteed, if you win, you're going to get a Sons of a Pitch Soccer t-shirt. And if we get over the 50 entries, which I'm sure we will, because we've got 1 day left, we should be able to get there. That'll add the $25 Amazon gift card as well. So, without further ado, let's get into the picks and predictions. The first game up is Atlanta United hosting New England Revolution. This one is at 1 Eastern Standard Time. Atlanta United in the Benz at home as the number 2 seed facing the number 7 seed New England Revolution. This game, Miles Robinson's going to be out for Atlanta, so that's going to hurt them a little bit in the center back position. But it looks like Joseph Martinez is back and ready to roll. So I really can't see any other result in this one other than Atlanta going through. They just beat New England in Atlanta last week, or 2 weeks ago now on Decision Day. So I think they will do that. My pick in this game is Atlanta United. Next up at 3:30 Eastern, we have Seattle Sounders hosting FC Dallas. Seattle, the 2 seed, Dallas, the 7 seed. Seattle is playing good soccer right now. They're a strong team. Maybe not as strong as in years past, but they're definitely a good team, have lots of good pieces. FC Dallas has had kind of an up and down year. They've got a lot of young talent on that team. The Cobra ended up getting his first call-up to the Czech Republic and did extremely well in those 2 games with a game-winning goal and a couple assists. So he's going to be riding high. I think FC Dallas will be riding high. They did play Seattle, and it was a 0-0 draw in that game back in, I believe it was the beginning of October, maybe the end of September. But I think that Seattle at home in the playoffs is going to be too much for FC Dallas. My pick in this game is the Seattle Sounders to win and move on. At 6 o'clock Eastern Time, under the lights at BMO Field, Toronto FC hosts DC United, the 4-5 matchup in the Eastern Conference. TFC has been on great form. They're unbeaten in, I don't even know how many MLS Masters. I believe it's 9 or 10. They're playing great right now. DC United is playing good as well. They missed the chance to get this game in DC by not being able to score on a 9-man Cincinnati at home at Audi Field. But this one comes down to the current status of the team. And I'm rooting for TFC, hence the hat, the jersey. You all know my allegiances. When you listen to our podcast, I'm a big-time TFC fan. But I just am worried about Josie Altidore. Without Josie Altidore, that team's offense goes downhill quickly. And I think he's not going to be able to start this game. I think he might be available off the bench, but he's not close to 100% yet. He was out of training the last couple of days. He did get into training today, but I don't think he's going to make a play in this game, at least start. So I'm afraid that my pick in this game is going to be DC United to win and move on to face New York City. The last game of the night in Real Salt Lake against Portland Timbers. This one is at 10 o'clock Eastern, so those of you on the East Coast, drink your coffee, stay up. It's going to be a good one between RSL and Portland. Portland has not been in the best form lately. They have not been scoring goals up until this last weekend on Decision Day when they got some goals to get into the playoffs. But this game being in Utah, Rio Tinto is a very tough place to play. My pick in this game, though, is the Portland Timbers. I think that Portland will go in. They always have a different gear when they get into the playoffs. They always find a way in the playoffs. Darren Espria, who you've probably never heard of if you only watch the regular season, he shows up in the playoffs and big, meaningful games. Valeri, yeah, they've got the issue with Brian Fernandez. I don't think he's going to be available because he's in the substance abuse program. But I think they will find a way to get it done on the road. So my pick, Portland Timbers, to move on. Now we go into Sunday. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Philadelphia Union hosts New York Red Bulls. This is going to be a great game to watch. I'm really excited to watch the games on Sunday. They are going to be really good. There's a reason why they're on Sunday, right? Because they're the better matchups. So this game here, you've got two teams in the East. The Red Bulls, who have been there a million times before. This year they have no pressure on them because they're not a top seed. They're not Supporters' Shield winners. They're not a 2 seed or a 3 seed. They're a lowly 6th seed. Barely, they got in the playoffs pretty easily. They weren't into jeopardy of missing the playoffs, but it has not been what we've become accustomed to seeing from the New York Red Bulls. That being said, Philadelphia has had a great season. Jim Curtin has turned things around there in Philadelphia. Really a season to remember for Philadelphia. This team was up top in the Eastern Conference, in the 1 spot for a long time. New York City had those games in hand, and then Philadelphia just kind of fell apart a little bit towards the end of the season. So what really concerns me is their form that they're in right now. They have not been playing great. They did just lose to NYCFC on Decision Day. They lost to a couple other teams as well. I believe they lost to Columbus in that mix. And what I'm going to base my pick on is the last matchup between these two teams, which was back in, I believe it was September. New York Red Bulls went up to Chester and beat the Union 2-0 pretty handily. So my pick in this game is the Red Bulls to win. I think that high press will get it done, and they will move on to the next round to face Atlanta, at least. So I think, depending on the result of that match. The last game of the opening round, Minnesota United hosts their first ever MLS playoff game at Allianz Field in St. Paul, Minnesota, hosting LA Galaxy and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This is going to be a fun one to watch. At least I hope it is. LA Galaxy, it really comes down to one guy, Zlatan. If Zlatan decides to show up, they're going to win. If he doesn't show up, Minnesota has a really good chance, especially with that awesome crowd support they have there at Allianz Field. So, my concern here for the LA Galaxy is that Zlatan has made comments in the past that in the United States, the playoffs, it's stupid. They shouldn't have playoffs. It should be a season-long type of winner, even though that point would have helped LAFC because then they would have won everything, the rivals. So I don't know why he said that. It's kind of, I think it was misinformed. Look, in the United States, we have playoffs. That's what we do. That's how we determine our champions, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So I think Zlatan isn't going to be up for this game like he normally is. I think it's on the road in Minnesota. It might be a little chilly. I'm not sure what the weather looks like for tomorrow night. But my pick in this game is Minnesota United to get their first win and book themselves a trip to LA to face LAFC in the next round. So my pick, Minnesota United to get that home victory, and they'll be singing Wonderwall. So there you have it. There's my 6 picks for the first round games. Again, if you have not done so yet, fill out your bracket challenge bracket at MLSsoccer.com and join our league, Sons of a Pitch Soccer. I've posted the link here again as well as down in the description. Jump in there for a chance to win an awesome Sons of a Pitch Soccer t-shirt as well as a $25 Amazon gift card. Also, make sure you check us out. Get into the conversation on Twitter at SOP Soccer on Twitter. That is where we have our best conversations during the game. Although we did, depending if we can get our live stream back up and working and one of us has the time to actually do it, we may be able to get one of the games on YouTube and talk our commentary during that game, so you can have the one game up there and listen to us, myself and Nick, or just myself or Nick talking about the game. So thank you for joining us. Make sure you like this video, share it, tell your friends about it, and jump in our bracket challenge. Thanks for joining me, and make sure to subscribe to the podcast. We will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the soccer. We will see you again next week.